is there a relationship between this stuff and performance management? By which I mean,
Yeah.
if you come in as a boss with an expectation that your team is going to realistically get, let's call it 3 hours of focus work done a day, does it change the kinds of goals that you set for your team? Or does it, like in terms of the aggressiveness or what you realistically think you can get done in a quarter or in 6 months or whatever it is? And then when the rubber meets the road and let's say, a goal slips or a team member is struggling to kind of perform at a high level, how do you navigate that conversation? Because obviously the temptation when people feel like they're not doing a good enough job is like just work harder or work more or whatever it is. Like, how do you how does this philosophy, I guess, impact performance management?
This is really good. This is a really good question. And this was the direction that I wanted to explore when we went into the like B2B software side of things, where like less interesting to me, and in fact like abhorrent to me, is the idea of like corporate spyware. But one thing that we figured out is, okay, pretty immediately we're like, if we sell a B2B, then we can sell it from like an ROI perspective. And we did the research on it, and we figured out that if you ran rescue time for business, which doesn't exist anymore, but at the time, if you ran it on your team, and like I said, it only surfaced things like whether people were hitting their goals or not what they were doing. Then it would give you basically the equivalent of an extra person on your team for a 5-person team, in terms of like, helping them reach the 3 to 4 hour focus work goal. Like that was the equivalent of another person. It translates to the same as like having an extra day, like having a day off from work, right? Like it's the same sort of thing as like most companies on average, without looking, do like 2 hours of focused, quote, productive work a day. So like just the idea of actually looking gives you more room to do more things, and helping people be more mindful of their day and to focus better lets you accomplish more. And so right away you have more bandwidth for tasks. But also the other part of the performance management side, and I was looking at like IBM Cognos and like some of SAP software back in the day, like to try to figure out how we would build this. I thought that like one of the things that we could do, and like I said, we don't have any plans of actually building this right now for businesses. We're very focused on the individual. I want to stress that. But you can think about how somebody's work patterns can be a leading indicator for revenue, in that if you're looking at teams who are constantly hitting their focus goals every day, then that team is going to meet their quarterly goals or not. If you see other ones that are failing to, it's an indication that there's something wrong with that team. Maybe the manager's got a problem. Maybe there's discontent. Maybe people are burned out. Probably that. Maybe there's lack of motivation. Maybe it's not the right talent. And so I thought about like, I spent some time at a venture capitalist incubator, but I thought about, how does somebody make retention software? People are always talking about talent acquisition software, but how do you make retention software? Retention software is if you can get people to be in balance and hit a focus goal constantly, then they're going to want to stick around. You're going to have a really great team, and you're going to hit your quarterly goals, I think, pretty consistently. And so that's interesting to me. I don't know where it's going to go, but I find like that's some insight that I think a lot of companies don't really know.